So I think when we look at developing faster, there's a good side and a bad side to that, because we developed a little bit better than women when it comes to this, because we were able to be children. We were able to go do stupid stuff and not be ridiculed to the degree of women being ridiculed. If
What?
your mother found out you did something crazy or you had sex early or whatever, she will beat your ass where you actually think she's going to kill you. She didn't do us like that. So to a certain degree, women, young girls, simply because they have a mother in the household and we didn't have a father in the household, we're hurt in a way because we didn't have our father. But at the same time, y'all are hurt in a different way because you didn't have a father. So I think there's a good side and a bad side of this, because overall women are more abused or traumatized by what happens in their households compared to what happens in our households as boys, because altogether we get left alone. We get to go outside and play. We get to do whatever. Even when we come in the house, we don't have to cook food, wash clothes, do dishes, do all that stuff. No, we can just do what we want to do. But our sisters, our sisters have to be maids, butlers, secondary parents to us, picking up behind us and all that other shit. So altogether, yes, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, because it's one thing about your prefrontal cortex, but you always also got to look at your amygdala. Y'all are more traumatized than us. So we go out in this world, figure our shit out. Y'all actually had a grown version of y'all. We didn't. So we are the ones dealing with what we have to do, but we figure it out.
You said it's called the amygdala?
Amygdala and your prefrontal cortex. Your amygdala is the part of your brain that all of your
You
traumatic experiences have been.
Yeah. You spell it for me, write it down.
EMIGDELA. That's important. That's where all your trauma. That's where all your traumatizing experiences are held, to keep you from reliving them.
All right. You said ED.
Amygdala.
You spell it for me one more time.
Bro, can you stop? You know when y'all start talking about the brain, I get excited. Shout out to
Casey. But to what you were saying, Mr. Lego, okay, so you said that the girls pretty much were chastised more than the boys were, and you guys got to play outside and be free. And I think that alludes to the point of what he was saying in the video, because, boys need men. Men need men. I don't even think it stops when you're a boy. I think that men should continue to counsel men, because you have like experiences. You may go through the same things. And so I think that probably was the problem.
Yeah.
Because dad wasn't there, you got to run free. Education wasn't important. It wasn't something that was pushed. That whatever you did was through trial and error. And if no one corrected it, you thought it was correct, or you thought it was okay. So overall, I think that men just need men. And if you can't catch them when they're boys, definitely still be able to mentor a man, or, like Ali was saying, him and Marcus were able to be close or open with one another. I don't know if they ever met in real life or, face to face, but that's a brotherhood that they can develop, that they can now mature and be better as men. I don't think enough men take other men underneath their wings and say, hey, I see what you're going through. I went through the same thing. Let me help you. Let me mentor you. Let me, take you underneath of my wing, because I see potential there. I see that, you have the tools. You just don't know how to steward over them correctly, or you just don't know which direction to go in. So I think that because of the lack of male representation in the home, there has been a decline in male education. There has been a decline in male teachers. You know, I forget who was saying it, but back in the day, Trev was saying it. You know, you had all these students in the classroom, and you had an older woman, predominantly white, trying to, you know, tame a classroom full of children. I remember doing student teaching in Paterson, New Jersey, and that's North Jersey. That's the rough, those are rough parts. You know, and you have children who have behavioral issues. They have their own IEPs written up, and you don't have strong men who are in those classrooms helping those children progress. You have women who are stressed, who are, you know, can't take the volume of the class, they can't take the behavior of the class, and now the children are going to the wayside. Even in today's education system, the way that they're grading, checking things is just not like it used to be. It's just like, okay, you get an A for participation, and it's like, okay, is it right? Is it with the same curriculum? Like, are y'all up to par? You know, so you just see that the education system has declined over the years, and there's definitely not enough male representation. That definitely not enough Black male representation. And then when those children get out of school, whether they're just passed along, not even really, you know, making the grades for real, they get out into today's society and they don't know how to function. So
Yeah, and then you look at I think it was Trev who talked about how so many young boys are diagnosed or falsely diagnosed with ADHD, being in school, acting up. But it goes back to not having the male representation in our house. We don't have ADHD, we have DHAD. That is, don't have a daddy syndrome. We don't have no male, we don't have a daddy. So we miss our dads. We mad about this. We going through this and that. So we don't have that male person to take us fishing, to teach us how to throw a football, whatever it is. But the thing about it is, we need, like, desperately, that male representation in our household. We don't have ADHD. We have DHAD. We need a daddy.
Let's go to Casey and then Ali.
So this is a topic that I'm like really passionate about. I was raised with 3 brothers. My husband has 2 brothers. I'm a daddy's girl. I'm surrounded by men. And being a little girl, my oldest brother, I remember seeing my mom and dad go to school to talk to his math teacher in high school because my brother was just being ignored and disregarded. He was in an advanced math class in high school. He went to a great high school, and he had issues just ongoing with this math teacher. And it really came down to it. I remember like hearing conversations with my parents, you know, discussing this at home, and really like having conversations with my brother, you know, before all these parent teacher conferences, like, okay, you know, did you ask her about this? What was this conversation? You know, how did you feel with her response? You know, are you raising your hand in class? Like, she was ignoring him. She had no patience at all for the male kids in her class, for the little boys. And I saw my younger brothers, not have to the extent of that issue. They had no behavioral issues, but just not be on the same level as little girls and the attention that was given. And I think in society, that's where we are. I feel that there is a campaign. There is a campaign to raise women to this pedestal, right? I don't subscribe to Black Girl Magic. I don't subscribe to the future is female. I don't subscribe to any of that because this world needs both of us, to both of our genders to function. We work as a team within society, and that's how society works within roles and duties. And it's so sad that men don't have a safe place at any part of their life. But like Chera said, the only way that we're going to correct that is going to start within the home. right? My brothers knew that my father was their advocate, my mother was their advocate, right? I wasn't put on this grandiose pedestal over my brothers because I was the only girl and I was so special over my brothers. Like, that's not what it was in my household. I learned my role as a young girl, as a young woman, and I didn't feel above them or anything. I still serve. I have a husband. I serve my husband. I serve my brothers. I serve my father if I'm at home. You see what I'm saying? Like, so there's a campaign in society to push men down, like they don't matter. Their opinions don't matter. You see things on Instagram and social media that says stuff like, I don't like men. I don't trust men. I don't like, it's just so negative. They're either predators, they're not smart, they're out to get women, they want to use and abuse women, believe all women when women lying every day about men, whether it's high school boys going to jail for 10 years when they were both drunk, in a situation, and the boy gets sentenced to whatever because he was 16 and she was 15 or 14. They're still in the same age group, and the boy's life is thrown away, and the girl thrives and moves on with her life because she may have told her parents something because she's scared of what her parents would say, because we're taught that men are bad and boys are bad. And so something has to change, but it has to start in the home. It has to start with men in the home. I think we're all saying that. With men, I had more male teachers in college than I did in grade school. I had tons of male professors at university, but hardly any in grade school. So all of that matters. All that shapes who we are as people and how we view each other. But men should feel value because they are valuable. And it needs to change.